Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Well, I kind of knew that this day was always going to come. I just knew. I just didn't know when it was going to come. I didn't know if it was going to come today. I didn't know if it was going to come yesterday. I didn't know how it would come about. I didn't know what it was going to be about. I just knew this day would come because so many people through the years have warned me about this. So many people have warned me and said, why are you friends with Rich Lux? You shouldn't be friends with Rich Lux. He's going to do you dirty down the road. And, you know, like Rich said about me, there was always a soft spot that I had for Rich. And people have reached out to me and they've asked if this is a joke, if this is like concocted between Rich and I. No, it absolutely is not a joke. And I feel partly sad kind of about it, but honestly, very grateful too. Very, very grateful for this because I have been wondering for the last week what the hell is going on. I have been very, very confused. I was kind of trying to piece it together, but I didn't really understand. And so, you know, I was like, I talked to several people about this because I didn't know what was going to happen. When I found out that, you know, he was going to, I speculated to some of my friends before, and my husband, and my best friend, you know, like if he puts a video out, do I respond to it? Everybody told me no, just let him say what he has to say. But years ago, there was an infamous video put out by me. You know what? I'm just going to include the names and everything in here today. Paige Christie put a video out about me years ago, and Rich was actually highlighted in that video. And at that time, it was painted that Rich and I were not friends, and Rich and I were friends at that time. And I asked him, I said, could you please, because he said that he's always stood up for me. He said, I said, could you please just let Paige know that we're good today, that we've worked things out? And he said, no. He said, I can't do that. And I said, why not? And he goes, because if I do, then she'll turn around and make a video about me. But when Paige's video came out, and I got a lot of backlash for that video, Rich told me that I needed to stand up for myself, and I needed to get in a video, and I needed to defend myself. And there were a lot of reasons why I didn't do that. You know, in the last couple years, Paige and I have made up. I have felt like I am really good with most of the drama commentary channels or those people that I know. And so, you know, Paige and I are good today. Paige and I consider Paige a friend today, you know, that I talk to from time to time, and I feel good with Paige. And Rich didn't like that. Rich had a hard time with that. And I'd say, you know what, Rich, whatever your issues are with Paige, those are your issues with Paige, but we've worked things out. So let me tell you kind of in real time what happened. And that's the reason why I'm making this video, is because Rich told me years ago I should have stood up for myself. It's one of the things he has said to me through the years. It was interesting that he said that I always tried to control him. Because I kind of felt that way from Rich, but I did, and honestly, I mean, if you're going to be friends with Rich Lux, and anybody that's been friends with Rich Lux can, you know, say that this is true. You kind of know what you get with Rich Lux. You just, it's never really that deep, and you just kind of know what you're getting, and that's just how it is, in all honesty. And I think anybody that has been friends with Rich or knows Rich could probably say that that's true. And I think that the part of me that makes me sad is because Rich and I had a lot of good times. We had a lot of fun laughs. And in all honesty, the majority of the conversations that I remember, and like he said, we did talk a lot. We texted a lot. We talked a lot through the years. Our friendship actually extends. He said 5 years. It's actually a lot longer than that. Rich was one of the first people that I ever met when I started doing drama commentary. You know, September will be 9 years. So I've known Rich for over 8 years at this point. And there has been ups and downs in that relationship. And I think I don't know, finally made up 5 or 6 years ago. I do remember a conversation about a month ago. There's been a lot of times in our relationship where I felt that Rich had wronged me, and I would have to come to him and I would say something. Like, for example, when he tweeted out after my accident and made it kind of, I mean, I had people coming to me later and saying, did you know, I didn't even know about it at the time, that he said that he had spoken to my husband, which I don't think that was true, and said that, you know, Alex had come out and said all this kind of stuff. And I've said to Rich a couple times, like, there was like, I don't understand why like, why weren't you, like, I don't understand, like, that was your concern at the time, was, like, to tweet out. He was like, well, people were asking, people were wanting to know what was going on with you. I was like, yeah, but you were my friend, Rich, like, and, you know, and we've had many conversations, but it took many conversations for him to say, like, I'm really sorry that I did that for you, you know? Recently, we have had, he talked about the receipt thing. That was a huge issue to Rich. That was probably about a month ago or something. He said, you never send me receipts. And I said, Rich, I'm not on my phone like that. I'm just not. Like, I'm not Peter Monn, the drama channel that I was in 2016. I don't live for it. I have 7 channels. My vlog is my heartstone. I'm really trying to invest a lot of time in my TV channel. Like, I love doing drama commentary, but I'm not living in, and you know, he said that he thinks this is kind of like a negative in the drama community, but I'm not somebody that races to film a video. Today I did, because if I don't, people will ask me when I'm going to respond to it. And quite frankly, I don't want to sleep on it. I've been stressed out about this for the last couple days. In all honesty, I've been pretty stressed out about this. I didn't really know what he was going to say in his video. He said he was bringing the receipts. So I was like, I don't know. You know, my husband said, what receipts does he have on you? I said, I don't know. Like, I have no idea, you know? Like, I don't know what he's you know, what he's going to talk about. And I could bring the receipts too. And he didn't really in his video, and I don't really have a reason to do that. But he shared his truth, so I'm going to share my truth, because, like I said years ago, Rich said I should stand up for myself and defend myself. And Rich said some things, and he pointed the finger to the fact that I'm a narcissist, and maybe I am. I don't know. I've never been diagnosed with that, and I've been diagnosed with several things. But maybe I am. I don't know, you know? Maybe I'm a snake, like Rich said. And you know, if that's what you want to believe, then I guess if that's what you're going to believe. What happened was this, okay? Somebody reached out to me and said, why did Rich Lex unfollow you on Instagram? I was not looking for it. I watch Rich's stories every day. I watch him shopping. I've told him on multiple occasions he should make full videos, because he puts so many stories up about him shopping, going to the Dollar Tree, showing this. I think it would be genius. I think he said, well, I have my shopping vlogs. I said, Rich, it'll be great for you. You should do that, you know? Like, you're doing so much of it and giving it away. Like, just put it, and I've said the same things about other people, you know? And he was like, yeah, whatever. And so I watch a lot of his stories. I get a lot of enjoyment out of Rich's stories. I love that he films all the stuff in the mall and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I think the other thing is that I've always known with Rich, like Rich will always say, I don't understand why people don't understand that this is like a clown costume. Like, it's all like smoke and mirrors. If you're going to be friends with Rich, you have to understand that everything's smoke and mirrors. Okay, what he presents is not who he is on camera. And I think that was why, like, people would say, like, why do you do this? It's like, there was a soft part of Rich that I witnessed at times that I could see how I could see that, like, there were things that he had hurt over. And we would have conversations about stuff. Not all the time, because, to be honest with you, unlike other people I've talked to, like Paige Christie or like Dustin Daly or other people in the drama commentary channel, and I don't really talk to that many people. It's not like, I don't live in 2016 anymore. And I think that's probably one of the problems, is that I don't. And I think that Rich was wanting that companionship from another drama channel of, you know, exchanging ideas and whatever. And that's not who I am today. And, but, you know, I like, it's hard to kind of go deep with Rich sometimes. You kind of have to, like, I don't know, like, I can remember Rich reaching out to me, and, like, we were talking one night, and it's interesting that he said that, I called him and said, you don't ever call me anymore because, or something like that, or why don't you ever call me? And he's like, well, I'm just kind of hanging out doing my thing. That's actually not how it really happened. It's actually Rich that calls me and says, like, why aren't you calling me? And I'm like, well, I haven't heard from you in a couple days. I thought you were busy. I saw that you were at the mall. I always make this joke about you're always at Mateo's or the steakhouse. I always make the joke with him. And I'm like, I didn't want to bother you. I thought you were out. So that was interesting to me. I mean, a lot of the things he said in there were things that I've kind of said to him through the years, so I didn't really understand it. But what happened was that somebody reached out to me and they said, Rich Lex, why isn't he following you on Instagram? I didn't even know that he wasn't following me on Instagram. And so I went and I looked and I was like, Rich isn't following me on Instagram anymore. Like, what did I do? Like, immediately I was like, what did I do? You know? And I think that this needs to be noted that years and years and years ago, drama commentary channels went through this huge thing where we didn't get along. Then I went through a phase where I really tried to just stay in my own lane and do my own thing because I thought it's just easier not to have any relationships with people than get hurt by people. And then I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And I've shared this many times in my videos before, but going into, I believe it was 2021, I had done a lot of 12-step work, and I needed to make amends to 3 people. And those people were Paige Christie, Dustin Daly, and Sam here for the tea. And all 3 of them allowed me to make amends to them. Some of them made amends back to me, and we repaired our relationships. Rich and I had already repaired our relationship. And, you know, I've shared this with other people, so I'll share it with you. One of the things that Sam said to me back in the day was, Rich Lux would never piss on you if you were even on fire, and you don't see it. You're the last person to see it, because you will defend Rich Lux to any expense because you have this soft spot for you. And I couldn't see it. Through years, people would say to me, you know, like, Rich is like, why are you friends with him? He's going to turn on you at some point. And I just really didn't believe that he ever would. And then there was, at one point, I was like, he said something to me on the phone. I don't even remember what it was, but I thought, when this goes south, like when he no longer has use for me or wants to be friends with me anymore, and I don't know, maybe it is about the fact that I don't send him receipts, so he finds no use for me anymore, but when he finds no use for me anymore, this will be a moment for Rich. Rich will make a moment out of it. He'll make a video out of it, because everything to Rich Lux's views and subscribers. Can't, you know, get a view to save my life. I mean, so this is for him. And so here you go, Rich, here's your moment, you know? I reached out to you. I hope, and you know what? I know that you've read the book by Mel Robbins. I think at this point it's on the bestseller list. Most people have. And, you know, if your theory is let them, which I believe a lot in that too, and I will let you walk away. Like, I'm not going to fight for somebody that doesn't want to be in my life. I'm not going to. It makes me sad. But let me explain to you the breakdown of what happened in the last week, because somebody reached out to me and said, Rich Lux unfollowed you. And I was like, oh, I didn't know. And so I went and looked. And that was actually last Tuesday, April 15th. And I texted him and I said, girl, did you unfollow me on IG for some reason? No response. And then I was like, did he block my phone number? Because it didn't go through as delivered, which it usually does. And I thought, did he block my phone number? Maybe he did. So I went over. I'm not active on Twitter at all. I don't mess with Twitter anymore. I haven't for probably 2 years. And before that, I was only posting the Halloween and the Christmas countdown. So I went over and I noticed that Rich had blocked me on Twitter. So then I called him on the phone because, and let me explain this, about a month ago, Rich and I had a conversation, okay? And Rich was like, I was upset about something that Rich had, and I'm not going to bring it into this video, but I was upset about something that Rich had said, okay? And in the conversation, he apologized for it, and I said, Rich, here's the deal, okay? It has been messy between drama channels in the past, okay? We are friends. We don't really, I mean, when I would talk to Rich on the phone, I don't know what he remembers, but we didn't spend a lot of conversations talking about Jeffree Star. I mean, I think that, I don't know, but like that narrative is not like, my conversations with Dustin, my conversations with Paige that I've had, we don't talk about that kind of stuff. We don't talk about Jeffree Star and what Jeffree Star's doing. I mean, I might say, what video are you making tomorrow? But those are not the conversations. I mean, the conversations I've had with Rich recently on the phone have been about some guy that he was dating, and I felt bad for him because it didn't turn out the way that he wanted to. I think he turned that into a video. Or, you know, we would talk about that I said, you know, like, you should really start investing your money in, like, buying property, because, like, if you bought a condo or a house, like, you wouldn't have to, you know, those are the conversations. I've tried to give him, like, you know, advice based on mistakes that I've made in my life. We've had a lot of conversations. And I will say this, likewise, we have both held each other accountable, because people always ask this, okay? With all of the stuff that's come out, we've always had those conversations, those hard conversations with each other. So I texted him, and I said, like I said, girl, did you unfollow me on IG for some reason? I had no clue. I didn't know what was going on. So then I went over and I looked, and he had blocked me on Twitter. And so then I called him, and I went through, and I said, I don't even remember what I said, but I said something like, I'm really confused. Like, you unfollowed me on Twitter or on Instagram, and then you blocked me on Twitter. Like, what did I do? Like, I don't understand what I did. So I was confused about it, right? And so then I was like, I'm like looking through my text messages, and I'm like, when was the last time that I actually talked to Rich, right? And the last time that I talked to him was, he was texting me while I was on vacation, encouraging me to bring out the ring light and make videos. And I said to him on here, he was like, why haven't you posted a drama video? You know, blah, blah, blah. He's giving me all these topics. And I said, I know I'm going to make a video. I'm just trying to relax on vacation is basically what I was saying. And he's on there and he's like, I'll never forget what you told me about getting through the toughest days, blah, blah, whatever. Being encouraging to make videos because he thought, you know, you're on vacation, you should make videos. I understand that. One of the things I've always encouraged with Rich is that he needs to take some time and not film. Like he's in it 24 hours a day. I'm like, Rich, just take a vacation. Don't film. You don't always have to film. You can just enjoy your vacation. And so I said to him, I won't read all his texts. I'm not going to do that, okay? But I said in there, I need a break too. I don't need to waste time. I could be spending with my husband on a video with 5,000 views. I can film when I get back. And I said, but I am going to make a video for tomorrow. Thanks for giving me the info. The other thing he said in there was that I don't credit him or whatever. First of all, the whole thing that he said about the watermarking of the video, I'm not even going to get into that because that was a phone conversation that we had. And that had nothing to do with the fact that I didn't want to credit Rich Lux. For example, when I go up here, he says to me, as he's sending me receipt after receipt on Michaela Ngera, okay? I'm not a Michaela Ngera channel. He's right. He's the expert on it. He should make every Michaela Ngera video that he wants to, okay? I'm not the Michaela, but he sent me something about the ingredients that somebody said something about this, and he said, you usually give me credit. The ingredients list, he wanted me to give him credit for this, okay? But he said in here, you usually give me credit. How do I, okay, so I don't give you credit? You say in your video about the watermark thing? I always give you credit. I always do, Rich. I've only actually ever sang out your praises and said how good of a friend you've been to me. And the thing is, I would never do this to you, okay? And you knew that. I would never get on video and make a point of making this, okay, to just have a moment. Your friendship meant too much to me. If the friendship meant that much to you, you wouldn't have turned it into video, all right? You know, you were singing out Shane Dawson's praises on his interview that he did. Well, if you watch the whole interview instead of just the clips, and I don't know if you did, but what he says in there is that people reach out to each other so they can have adult conversations. And a month ago, when we were having this conversation over something that you had hurt my feelings on, what I said to you was, we are too good of friends. We have worked through too many things. And we both agreed that we would always reach out to each other, which is what I did when I was confused, okay? As an adult. Not as a drama channel, as an adult friend. I reached out to you because I was confused as to what was going on. I didn't understand it. And I was asking other people. I said, I don't understand what's going on. You know, and also to say on here that, I mean, this is the last time that I went to the post office with my cousin Caroline that I go every Wednesday when I'm with her. And you had sent me a bag that was full of glitter. I believe I even talked about it on my vlog and said that Rich Lux sent me a bag with cosmetics things on it. It was very nice and it had all kinds of glitter into it and stuff like that. And I sent you a message about it, thanking you for it. And you never responded to it. You never responded to it. So to say that I'm a narcissist because you send me packages and things like that, I do have social anxiety. I don't even see some of my own friends, let alone I'm going to fly to Houston to be in a music video. That's not about you, Rich. It doesn't have anything, that's about me. That's about my personal struggles, you know? And then to throw in a video that I know Peter struggles with social anxiety, but I've invited him to Houston. People have invited me all over places. Some of my dearest friends that I've known for a lot longer than I've known you, and I don't go. It's a struggle for me. It's a real struggle for me. So I didn't know what happened. I didn't know. And I'm asking people, I'm trying to put it together. And I'm like, oh, well, here's the deal. The only thing I can come up with, because we're texting when I'm on vacation. That was 3 weeks ago. We were good. We were good. And then I came back from vacation. And I decided to make a video about Michaela Ngera from a sober point of view. All right. Now, because I brought Dustin into this, I'm going to bring him into this part as well, because it does have to do with Dustin. Dustin and Rich had a falling out several years ago. All right. I have told both of them, because this is, of course, how a manipulative, controlling person acts. I have told both of them I wasn't getting involved in that. That I could be friends with Dustin and I could be friends with Rich. Okay. And their falling out had to do with them. I wasn't getting involved in it. I've told both of them. And I've done a very good job of not going either way. Dustin and I don't talk about Rich. Rich and I don't talk about Dustin. If we do, it might be in passing or something, okay? Or something that happens. But very rarely do we ever talk about them. So I came back from vacation and I made a video about Michaela Ngera talking about her husband, Cody. I cannot believe, this is the ridiculousness of it, that in a falling out of a friendship of over 5 to 8 years or whatever he thinks it is, that we're bringing Michaela Ngera into it. So I will just say this, since this will be the last time I ever speak to this. Girl, the fact that you're so bent out of shape about Michaela Ngera and that you're willing to lose a friendship over it and you want to add all this other stuff in there like I'm a narcissist and all this kind of stuff, baby, I think that speaks volumes about how consumed you might be with all this kind of stuff. But you do you, okay? Because the only thing I could piece together was this had to be about my Michaela Ngera video. So I came back and I made a Michaela Ngera video, and I talked about it from a sober person's point of view. Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe I was completely wrong, okay? Maybe she used the hell out of that video to push her products. I don't know. It was a drama commentary video. I don't really give a shit that if you want to tell the truth. I care more about my friendships than being upset about a different point of view. Dustin and I have opposing points of view on drama commentary all the time. We had a whole conversation about the fact that he really believed that Michaela was sad fishing. In fact, he talked about it in his video. The whole month of December and November, he talked about it. And he talked about it. He goes, nah, girl, she's sad fishing. I said, I don't believe that. I believe I understand it now. He goes, well, I understand how you see it that way. We were able to have an adult conversation over it, okay? But Rich, I didn't have that conversation with him. Apparently, it's my job to reach out to Rich to have conversations about drama commentary. I didn't realize that was one of the requirements of being a friend. I didn't know that, okay? But now that I'm aware of that, thank you for letting me know, Rich, that because I'm so controlling, okay, that it was my responsibility to reach out to you to have conversations about drama commentary and my opinion about it. You watch every video I make on every single one of my channel. I don't watch your videos. I don't watch anybody's drama videos. I don't watch Dustin's. I don't watch anybody's videos. I film my videos. I post them. I watch books. I do puzzles with my friends late at night, okay? I watch TV shows. I hang out with my husband. I go to meetings with my best friend on Tuesdays usually. I go to therapy, and that's my life. I watch squirrels in the front yard. For years and years and years and years, people have wanted to make me out as this manipulative, calculating, controlling person. If I was that, okay, I don't think that I would be getting 6,000 to 10,000 views a video. I think that I would be sitting at millions of views a video, and everybody would be seeking out of my attention, okay? That is just not the case. My life is boring. My life is simple, all right? So I didn't know what it was about, but I figured it was because I made this Michaela video. Well, on the heels, I made another video, and in that video, I said, Dustin Daly, last night, sent me a very nice message, which he did. And what his message was about was personal, but it had to do with addiction in his family. And he sent me a very heartfelt message about how my story and talking to him had helped him with a family member, okay? And he even cited in there a prayer, the prayer for the sick man from recovery, that I had shared with him. Because I am this sick, controlling person that when I am talking to my friends that are drama commentary channels, a prayer that I had also shared with Rich Lux, okay? I am so controlling in that moment that I am sharing pieces of things that have helped me in my life. I am not any different on camera than I am off camera. And anybody that knows me will share that with you, okay? The fact that Rich Lux wants to paint this picture of me, that I am this person, is something that I would never have done. I would never do that to him. Because I respected our friendship. And I thought that it meant a lot more than this. For a moment. For a moment. So I'm like, okay, then Dustin comes out with his video, and Dustin did say in his video, because Dustin said to me before, he goes, I don't even know, and Rich knows this, I have warned Rich before when Dustin or other people were going to make videos about him, and I told Dustin, I'm going to tell Rich that you're going to make a video about him. Dustin said, I don't give a shit, and I would tell Rich, I think they're going to make a video about you, or somebody's going to make a video about you, because that's who I am. I warn my friends. I don't make them wait for 2 to 3 days, stressing out over it. I let them know. Because I'm such a horrible person. I didn't know that Dustin was going to include his name. Dustin can swear to this on video. When I talked to Dustin, Dustin said, he goes, I don't know if I'm going to mention Rich's video. I said, are you going to put his name in the title or mention it? He goes, I don't know. I said, girl, think about it. He goes, I don't know what I'm going to do. He goes, I'm just going to talk my truth. I said, well, talk your truth. So I didn't know. If Dustin had said to me, I'm making a video about Rich Lux, I would have called Rich Lux up and told him that he was making a video about it. I would have told Dustin, I'm going to give Rich a heads up. They can both tell you that. Those are things I've done through the years. Sounds like a pretty horrible person, doesn't it? I wouldn't have told them not to make the video. I would have just given them a heads up. So I didn't know what was going on, but Dustin made his video, okay? I had said some glowing things about Dustin. Rich couldn't stand that. Rich through the years would be like, oh, why are you saying such nice things about this person? Why are you, they're a snake. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. I'm like, girl, let me have my relationships with these people. Yet again, but I'm so controlling, right? I said, let me have my relationships with these people, okay? I don't let other people dictate my relationship with you. These are conversations I have had with Rich. So I had no clue from Tuesday through Sunday what was going on. I'm in my head trying to figure it out. Why does he want to talk to me more? Why are we not friends? I don't understand this, okay? So then somebody sends me this tweet that Rich puts out using this horrible picture of me, okay? And he says on there, I blocked Peter Monn because I found out he was being a snake. So he can fuck off. Don't call or text me either. I'll tell you the same thing. Fake snake. You can fuck off. Blocked your number 2. Hashtag Peter Monn. So then somebody told me that he was commenting that he was going to make a video and he's going to bring the receipts. Then I'm like, what the hell? Like, I don't know what's this about, okay? So thank you, Rich, for finally posting your video 2 days later, because for the last 2 days, I had no clue what was going on. I didn't know why you didn't want to be my friend anymore. I didn't know what I had done to you. I didn't know what this was about. I didn't know. I had no clue. I had put it together that it was about this Michaela Ngera thing, which in your video, you basically confirmed, okay? And basically said that I shout out other people and I don't ever give you enough credit and things like that. Okay, so Rich, I have really enjoyed our friendship for the past, whatever it was, 5 to 8 years, okay? Genuinely, I'm sorry I didn't come out to Houston when you wanted me to. I appreciate you offering it to me. I'm sorry I didn't give you the validation that you felt that you needed as a friend, all right? It was hard sometimes because when I would call you and say things like, I was texting you and talking to you on the phone when your cat died, could you at least have texted me when my last dog died? Because it was really upsetting. And your response to that was, oh girl, I didn't think that you'd mind because I was over at a half an hour after I got home. It's hard to have a deep conversation with you, Rich, okay? It's hard to have a deep conversation with you when you're upset about the fact that I don't send you receipts anymore. When I don't even have receipts because I don't even know what video I'm making till the day that I wake up. So I'm sorry that I didn't send you receipts. I'm sorry I wasn't the friend that you wanted me to be. But I will tell you this, and this is, you can talk about loyalty, and anybody that I've talked to behind the scenes will tell you this. For at least the last 2 years, okay? I cannot stand behind anything before that because, girl, you had done me dirty. And I had probably done you dirty too, okay? And I'll own that all day long. But in the last 2 to 3 years, we have been good friends. And I value that friendship, all right? And I am a believer in the saying that choose people that fight for you in rooms that you are not in. And I can tell you this, and I can promise you that I fought for you in rooms that you were not in without you even knowing it. And if that makes me a snake, and that makes me controlling, and that makes me a bitter asshole, then maybe I am, okay? But this could have been very easily, simply solved. All you had to do was respond to my text and say, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. And it could have been done that easy. You didn't have to make a video, but I know you wanted your moment. So here's your moment. Here's my response. And like you are so fond of saying in your video, I will let you walk away, girl. Because that's what Mel Robbins says. When people want to walk away from you, walk away from them. I have said in multiple videos of mine, in vlogs, and in my Peterisms channel and on my drama channel, I've talked about past relationships, past friendships. I am not somebody that lives with bitterness in my heart, okay? I try to cherish the good moments that I had with those people and remember them and remember those good moments. I don't plan on doing any exposed videos on Rich Lux, which I could do, and he could probably do the same to me, and it would go back and forth, and I don't see any point in it because I cherished the friendship that I had with Rich Lux, and I know it doesn't make a lot of sense to anybody. And it probably doesn't make sense to other people why Rich was friends with me. Because people love Rich, and people love me. And if you love me, you're not going to love Rich, and vice versa. And I get it, okay? It was a friendship. I'm sad that it's over. And I'm sad that it had to come to this of us making videos about it, Rich. But like you said, I should have stood up for myself years ago. I'm not going to stand behind and let just this story run wild and people guess at what's going on. You were upset about the fact that I had made an opposing point of view, Michaela Ngera, but I'm allowed to have that point of view. But I understand that, okay? I'm not going to apologize for not reaching out to you about your opinion on Michaela Ngera because I don't feel like I owe that to you. And you, quite frankly, through the years that we've known each other, have made many videos of opposing points of view on mine, and I never once got upset, okay? It's the fact that you're getting heat right now because Michaela Ngera, all right, is not happy with the fact that you've made all these videos about her. Girl, that's on you. I didn't make those videos. I made a video on my own, okay? Other channels that you have not unfollowed and that you are not pissed off at all and are not making videos have mentioned... The camera stopped. I wanted to get this all done in 30 minutes. But other channels that you're friendly with, that you still follow, have made videos calling you out, because I've seen them, okay, by name, about making multiple videos about Michaela Ngera, but you haven't unfollowed them. But apparently over this, and apparently this long history that I was never aware of, when we have had multiple conversations about our friendship, the boundaries of our friendship, the ways that I felt like I was hurt, the ways that you felt like you were hurt. We have had many, many conversations in the last 3 to 4 years about that. Never once have you ever said to me, like, I feel like I need away from this friendship. I don't want, you're not good for me. You're not healthy for me. Never have you ever said that to me. You've only said, I love you. And I've said that same thing back to you. You've only said, I'm thankful for you and I'm grateful for you as a friend. You've said things to me. I've said the same things to you. I wouldn't have done this, Rich. I wouldn't have turned it into a moment, okay? I know this is what you had to do, and I respect that. This is what you did, okay? And I am not going to turn this into a series of videos. If that's what you need to do, I guess that's what you need to do. I don't hate you. I'm not angry at you. Like you said in my video, I wish you the best, okay? I see something in you that I think that some people don't see. And I wish people could see that side of Rich Lux. I really do. I really do. It never needed to come to this. If you wanted to let me go, you could have said it in a text message, all right? I wish you the best, Rich. I honestly do, all right? And I'm just sad that it came to this. I'm really sad. And I'm not going to sit here and, like you said, and say I'm all hurt and cried. I'm sad about the friendship being over, but I'm grateful because in all honesty, if this is how you felt, that I don't know that I want somebody in my life that the moment that they're pissed off, whether people are asking for it or not, jump on video and are going to talk about a 5-year relationship. I mean, the thing is, I've been worried the last 2 to 3 days because I know you. And I was like, I don't know what he's going to say in this video. You know, I don't know what he's going to say. And I will say this, Rich, okay? Other than the things you said and the things you speculated about me and how you twist and turn some of the stories, it was respectful to some degree. And I appreciate that. I really do. And I wish you the best. Goodbye.